Good day, my friends. Froggy here, and welcome to the Hogs Den 2016 June 4th and 5th Republic of Washington Overnight Loop Ride. Tony and Wanda hosted this ride. 8 others joined in. Some knew each other, some didn't. And from the start, we all became friends. Our weekend begins hooking up at the Chevron and Mission at 8:30 a.m. We all mingled, fueled up, and greeted all going, with kickstands up around 9:30. Our first stop will be Princeton for lunch at the Brown Bridge Pub. The Brown Bridge is a common stop for bikers. They have good food, good service, not to mention the Chevron across the street on the main drag. We are meeting a 9th member for this trip, Jennifer, in a Soyuz at Tim Hortons. She was living and working here at the time. Ice caps were welcome. The temperature was in the upper mid-30s and would stay that gorgeous for the rest of the weekend. I'm going to skip through to Midway. I've documented Highway 3/Crow's Nest many times. Midway is where we head south through the Ferry County border crossing into Washington, stateside. We all finally got in, passing through the big yellow pillars to the booth. The crossing guards were pretty nice here, checking driver's licenses, plates, and a few standard questions like carrying any weapons or drugs. Of course, nobody here was, but I'm sure they've heard, "Oh yes, officer, but just my personal stash." Wrong answer. They were pretty quick, took all of about 40 minutes, and we were ready to trundle on to Republic. We made it. We ride south on Customs Road, continuing along the Kettle River. The Kettle River is 282 kilometers long with a unique route. The river starts at Kiefer Lake in the Monashee Mountain Range, 90 kilometers east of Vernon off Highway 6. From Kiefer Lake, it travels down to Rock Creek, east to Midway, south to Curlew, north to Grand Forks, east to Christina Lake, then south again, dumping into the Columbia River. 3 times it crosses our border. Did you get all that? After crossing the river on the east side, we hang a left onto Kettle River Road. Follow it on the west side to Curlew, our next town stop to see. Well, end of the road for Kettle Road. It bumps into State Highway 21. We stop for a moment, I guess for the boys up front to have a little powwow on the direction into downtown Curlew. Sure enough, they made the right one. Just up a bit, we crossed the Kettle River, over a wooden plank bridge. Good thing I practice on 2x4s back home. You never know when that trick comes in handy. Right after the bridge is a really cool little, and I mean little town of Curlew. They had, of course, the general store we parked in front, an auto parts, a saloon, what town's without one of them, the Riverside restaurant, and a postal office. The rest of the town looked to me mostly residential. Tony's waving me over to park with the rest for group photos, and I obliged as the truck left. We stayed for about an hour, had ice cream, cold drinks, and mingled with a few locals. The folks were very friendly and an awesome place to see and visit. It was time to hit the road. The 2 gas pumps in town were shut down, but there were bulk fuel tanks up top. The local said no worries, you can access using credit cards. And of course, I top up any chance I get, even though it's only 34 kilometers to Republic. Between Curlew and Republic, we cruised through farmland such as Malo, then hit Junction 20 and 21. From here, it's just under 5 kilometers to the Republic of Washington. You definitely will know you're here by the sign on the store at the Chevron. We hang right onto the main drag, through town, ending at the Klondike, our night's stay. After checking in, parking for the night, it was time for a real cold one. We walked down the strip and found the Republic Brewing Company. An old fire hall, converted, bay door open, peanut shells all over the floor, a picnic table up front, and brewing vats to the left. What more could one ask for after a day's ride? I decided to do a walkabout with my big gun, my cannon, and shoot some shots of the town, while I still could. Republic is a unique town with a combination of historical wood and brick buildings, Western-style architecture, murals at various places, and neat signs. A settlement became established after gold was discovered in 1896 in Eureka Creek. The town was named Eureka until the first post office was built in 1900. The post office wouldn't accept the name Eureka because there was a town named as such in Clark County, southwestern Washington. The townsfolk got together deciding to honor the Great Republic mining claim and proposed Republic. The name was accepted and the settlement became incorporated as a city on May 22, 1900, as noted on the City Hall sign. We all decided time for din-dins. On the same block was Esther's Mexican restaurant. Esther's definitely had that Mexican theme going on, and other than Mexican food, they had American style on the menu as well. They had a special on Corona, 6 bottles and a bucket of ice for $12. I'm not a Corona fan, but the waiter kindly substituted for my Coors Light. But most had no problem with the offer as written. We were at the restaurant for a couple hours plus some. As time went on, the party was moving on up. All was filled with laughs, fun, and great times. After Esther's, some went to the motel, some did not. I was one of the did-nots. A few of us wanted to stroll down and check out Madonna's Bar and Grill. I always like American bars, rather different. Stayed for a couple, mingled with folks, then walked back to the Klondike. Leaving Madonna's, it was dark out and things were starting to wind down around the hot tub. One more beer for me, and it was time to let Mr. Sandman do his thing. It was a splendid ride through town this morning. Some of the group went for breakfast as planned, some didn't. Most important was meeting at 9, the Chevron, to top up, grab snacks, juice, or whatever before riding out. Our next major stop will be for lunch at Winthrop, known for its American Old West design. There are a few ways to Winthrop. Our route starts south on State Highway 21 and will be 215 kilometers till lunch. However, we will go through Omak, 143 kilometers down the road, our first in-between pit stop. Traveling Highway 21 south is a mild winding road in between narrow valleys, little mountains, and hills. You pass by farms, ranches, lots of creeks, and follow alongside the small winding Sandpoil River. It's a great scenic tour and offers lots of campsites, hiking trails, and offshoot roads heading to lakes and other main state highways. We will take one of them roads shortly, cutting west to 155, then north to Omak. There was a sign just a bit back saying "Welcome to Colville Indian Reservation." When we turn off onto Cache Creek Road, we will ride smack dab through the middle of it. The reservation is also in the Okanagan County region, which runs directly north into our Okanagan. As we enter the area at 30 Mile Road, it was devastated by fire July 9, 2001. It was caused by irresponsible campers abandoning a campfire in the Okanagan National Forest near Winthrop. With temperatures around 38 degrees Celsius and high winds, it spread fast and burnt over 9,000 acres. 4 firefighters lost their lives fighting it. 2 women, 2 men. Those responsible were never found. As we hit Cache Creek Road, on the corner is a one-pump abandoned gas station, a good landmark to remember next time whipping by. The road, for the most part, has nice short winds up and down long mild hills, making for fun cruising. The landscape is similar to riding between Port Renfrew and Lake Cowichan on Vancouver Island, if ever done. There will be a point in Cache Creek Road that continues to Nespelem, but we will veer off left onto Highway 13 towards the Colville Tribal Reservation community, not to get it mixed up with the town of Colville outside of Kettle Falls. This is also where the landscape starts to transform into a little bit of this, a little bit of that, entering into Okanagan County. As we travel through this little community, we see not a soul, not a snake, not even a bug. We do hit Highway 155 here, and it will take us up and over the DeSoto Pass, then back down into the Okanagan Plains. I've never been to a Walmart, nor have I been in a parking lot of one. There was a reason for passing in here. I'm sure one was able to park along the wall, in the shade, between the kiddie pools and the barbecues. I never did go in. I have this phobia about large stores getting lost. I can hear the PA now. Hog's Den, we have a lost frog dog waiting for pickup at the main desk. All was good, a few snacks, ready to carry on. Heading out of Omak from Walmart, we rode down State Highway 97. Following 97 till hitting the exit sign pointing to Twisp and Winthrop, we crossed the Okanagan River, then left on 20. It's 89 miles or 143 kilometers from Omak to Winthrop. About an hour, 40-50 minute ride. The landscape is cool and changes off and on from barren hills to treed sections, pretty much all the way to Winthrop. Speaking of landscape change, we're heading into the Kettle Valley. This section of forest was hit by fire as well, August 2015, sparked by Mother Nature's wrath. It's amazing how quick the ecosystem replenishes with new growth, new beauty. My added thoughts are always with the creatures that called it home during such a blaze. This is another nice downhill cut and a first glimpse of the Kettle River just before Twisp. We follow the river in parts from Twisp to Mazama before heading into the well-known North Cascades. Winthrop is just a great little western-themed town within the Okanagan County. I've been here 3 times so far, twice this year passing by on another trip to Cooley Dam, and once about 30 years ago. It seems like nothing's changed other than a few renos. The street we came in on is State Highway 20, called Riverside Avenue through town. The stores and shops split along the banks of the Methow and Chuyuk rivers. We came in over the Methow, but will exit over the Chuyuk. The first white men to visit the valley were trappers around 1868, then gold was discovered in the Slate Creek district. The first settlers came to be in 1883, and in 1924, Winthrop officially became incorporated. The town was struck by a fire in 1893 and rebuilt. The Duck Brand Saloon survived and today is Winthrop's town hall. America's first Western novel was written here by Owen Wister, called The Virginian, and published in 1902. In September 1962, the first episode of the Virginian TV series opened, played by James Dury, and by gosh by golly, I remember it. We decided to have lunch at the old schoolhouse brewery, then trundled down to Sherry's Sweet Shop for dessert. Their homemade ice cream is awesome and make a mean licorice, Tony and mine's favorite. We hung around for a bit, finished dessert, flapping gums and topping tanks before heading up and over the North Cascades. Fueling up at the town gas station was a bit of a kerfuffle. One had to go back in time, lift the nozzle, pull the handle, fuel up, and then pay. Passing that knowledge back, things went smooth, and we were on our way. From Winthrop to Sumas border is 181 miles, or 290 kilometers. Be careful of your speed around Winthrop. It is ranked number 2 in the nation's Motorist Association for being the worst speed trap cities in North America. I will be able to go over the North Cascades, but will have to gas up in either concrete or cedar woolly before home. The Diablo Lake Overlook is a must-stop. Lots of parking, restrooms, plaques full of historical tidbits. There are 3 lakes, but you only view one, Diablo. Gorge left and Ross right are joined in series, but hidden by the terrain. They can be seen from other lookouts either side. These lakes are man-made reservoirs. They are formed and controlled by 3 hydro dams, Diablo, Gorge, and Ross, hence the lake names. Local glacier water flows into the lakes and creates the color, but it is mostly filled by the path of the Skagit River. The reservoirs start with Ross Lake, 37 kilometers north, with the north tip being in British Columbia, our Manning Provincial Park. Manning Park is the start of the watershed of the Skagit River, flowing through these lakes across Washington State west, dumping into the Pacific at Puget Sound. The Ross Lake National Recreation Area is another Mother Nature's beauty with plenty to see and do. One would have to plan a few days camping trip to appreciate. This will be on my top 10 bucket list of places to visit. It was time to trundle on, finish the North Cascades west, in through Skagit County to Cedar Woolley, then north to home. I'm going to end in Sedro-Woolley at Arco, our last gas up and chat stateside. It was a great weekend ride, good times had by all. We will all ride again one day. Thanks for watching. Washington State Republic Loop Ride.